Hello, Allie Duzette here, medical intuitive with my BFF, Cytel Schults, who is a musical intuitive. Earlier this week, well, yesterday actually, I recorded a video on the blood moon that's coming up this coming Friday. And one thing that happened during that video was I heard the lyrics to the song Riptide by Vance Joy. And I heard the little section from the beginning of the chorus that says, a lady running down to the Riptide, coming over to the dark side. I don't remember it. It's okay.
We're taken away to the dark side.
Taken away to the dark side. Yeah. And I thought, oh my gosh, this was a very weird thing to hear so clearly. I better talk to Cytel about this. For me, this is like the theme song of this eclipse. And I've been listening to it a lot since, yesterday morning when I recorded that first video. So I'm just really interested to get Cytel's take on this situation. And then Cytel, can you just mention your website real fast?
Yes. So my website is enjoyingyourvoice.vipmembervault.com.
Okay, enjoyingyourvoice.vipmembervault.com. Awesome. And she has a Facebook group called Sing Your Soul with Cytel Schults. Because Cytel, I don't know, I hate to put words in your mouth, Cytel, but Cytel is just so good at figuring out the meanings behind music for us. And so if you get a song stuck in your head or something, like Cytel has this gift to be able to see the real message of it for you. So today she's going to share the message of this song Riptide with all of us as it relates to the eclipse. So I guess ready, set, go. Let's do it.
Yay! Okay, I am like hearing it in my head. Okay, all right. So it starts out, I love how it starts out. It says, I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. Oh, all my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dream. And this is what I heard. I'm scared of things that have hurt me. I'm scared of things that have haunted me. And I'm also scared of things that could go well. And I think, right. And I think that's the case. Like people say, what's that quote by Marianne Williamson?
Oh, we're like afraid of how great we are. We're afraid of our own greatness. That kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. We're afraid of our own greatness. And that is what I heard here. But the other part, the part where it says you're the magician's assistant in their dream, I heard, this is what I heard, but I need to remember that I am the magician. Like we have the magic that we need to shift all that stuff. We have of that inside of us. Isn't that so cool?
That is super cool. So we have all these fears of things that have gone badly and fears of the things that could be good.
Yes.
And maybe we're getting obsessed with the magician's assistant and forgetting that we're actually the magician. We get to choose how this turns out for us.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. I think obviously we need help. Like we need someone to help us sometimes when we can't see out of it. But there are so many times like that we are, actually my son shared this quote with me. I need to get it from him. And in the quote, it talks about how we are the hero of our story. Like we get to make the decision and then we get to step in and have someone else help us in the places that we need help, right? So that'd be like the thing, like the classes on your website, the classes on my website, but we're just assistants. Like you and I are assistants for other people. And you're an assistant to me and I'm an assistant to you, but we're really the magicians. You know what I'm saying?
For our own lives. Yeah.
Yes, for our own lives. We are the magicians for our own lives. I just love it. Like the lyrics for the song, when I receive messages through music, it's not necessarily like a literal translation or like literally where it says we're a magician's assistant. We're not actually the magician's assistant. Sometimes it just shifts what the meaning is a little bit different than the actual words say. Okay, so the next part I love so much. I don't know if you're like this, Allie, but anytime I hear a song that has any kind of howling in it, I howl every time. Like, and I might not sing any of the other words, but I'll sing the howling. And this song has howling in it. It does, ah, ooh, ooh, right? And to me,
Yeah.
it's like the howl, right? So it was like,
Yeah.
do you do that too? Do you howl with the song?
You better believe it.
Oh, whew, I'm glad I'm not alone. Okay, so it was like, oh my gosh, this song is howling. Why do wolves howl? And like a lot of times people say like they'll howl at the moon, right? Do you know why they howl?
No, I have no idea. I never bothered to
Okay,
wonder about this.
so they howl to communicate with each other. So it's so cool. So the lyrics are "Ooh," right? This is the
Yeah.
howling. And then the next thing it says is, and they come unstuck. So this is like a call, literally, we're calling to ourselves to communicate with ourselves and with other people. So it has this call, right? And then it goes into the like a call to look at the things that have haunted us, look at the things that have hurt us, look at the things that we're scared of, whether they're good or bad. It's a call to communicate with ourselves about that. Do some journaling about whatever that thing is, right? That we want to focus on right now. Any thoughts on that?
Well,
I love
yeah,
it so
well,
much.
kind of my related thoughts as I was just listening to you and like looking at these lyrics on the screen. I just thought, um, I mean, people hire me because they feel stuck. And so when I see this line that says they come unstuck, that really stands out to me because that's a word my clients use a lot. They're like, I really feel stuck. And they feel stuck in a bunch of different ways. But as you were talking about this, I thought about in the context of this eclipse, because this howling at the moon, and we're dealing with the eclipse, and but howling, I mean, all of music is just vibration, and vibration can shake things free. And I think that's what we're kind of going into with this eclipse, is having stuff being shaken free from our insides. And what kind of weird stuff is going to come unstuck in the next like 2 to 3 weeks as we go through this eclipse portal. That is so interesting, but I think it's going to be shaking us all up. We're all going to be howling to the moon. The moon is howling back to us and shaking up what's going on in our insides.
Yes, it's time to communicate, and like verbally communicating with ourselves, mentally communicating with ourselves, talking to the people that we need to talk to, like reaching out for the help that we're needing. So we're not meant to do this by ourselves. Okay, are you ready for the chorus? This is the part that you heard.
Yes, this is the part that I heard. Yeah, I want to hear what you think.
Okay, so lady running down to the Riptide, taken away to the dark side. I want to be your left-hand man. I love when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat because you're going to sing the words wrong. Okay, there's just so much good stuff in here. So this is where you were talking about the pull that's going to happen, right? So when I listened to your video, when I watched your video, and I heard you talking about a pull, like it pulls to us, right? And whether we're aware of it or not, it's going to happen. It's going to pull us. And that is that very first line, lady running down to the Riptide. A Riptide pulls us in, right?
Yeah.
Like it can't help but pull us in. And this is the thing, because in the lyrics, it says taken away to the dark side, but we get to choose what part do we want to be pulled towards? What do we want to work on? Of course, we need to work on those dark parts of ourselves and heal those parts. But ultimately, where do we want to be? Where are we wanting to go? What do we want to focus on in the next 2 weeks? I know on your video, you listed a bunch of different things, right? You listed money. I can't remember all the things that you listed. Do you remember?
All the stuff that's going to be triggered by this
yes,
eclipse.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're dealing with the Scorpio Taurus axis. So Taurus is like the fixed earth sign that's going to deal with our stability, our foundations, our emotional foundations, and our physical, like the walls of our houses, emotionally and literally. And then and Taurus, I mean, like that does deal with money, like anything that makes you stable, which money does make people stable or unstable, right? And then Scorpio is the deepest, most watery water sign, and it's going to deal with our darkest emotions. When you have depression as an astrologer, like if people come and want to talk about their depression, what I'm going to look at is Scorpio and see what Scorpio is up to in their chart. So this can really invite, just like the dark side. Scorpio is the darkest dark side in the zodiac, but it also, like you're saying, we get to choose how to use it. It's an invitation to go deep, deep, deep and be reborn on the other side. And so when people, that's what I say, like in my one-on-one sessions, when people come in and want to talk about the depression on their star chart, like it's an invitation to go so deep that you come out on the other side and be reborn and, see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so what happens is when people are dealing with depression, it's because they're getting stuck in the middle of the tunnel and they aren't pushing through. And so that's I'm thinking this is kind of something that we're going to see in this eclipse portal, this 2-week window from November 19th to December the 4th, where are we going to get stuck in the tunnel and not keep going and see the light at the other side?
Yeah, and I really love that you said that, especially with the very next phrase in the song, which is, I want to be your left-hand man. So this is like the phrase that I thought about that phrase a lot, because we hear on our right hand, and God talks about Christ being on his right hand and he's on our right hand, so I was like, what does left-hand man mean? Like, why is that significant? And then I saw, as I was asking the question, I saw my wedding ring. And I was like, oh. He's asking to marry us.
Oh my God.
And it's the good part. The good part wants to be married to us. It wants to be one with us. Like the good, if I see, like we have three, our self, our bad self, and our good self, right? And our good self is saying, I want to be married to you. Please marry me. I want to be your left-hand man. Like, I don't want to put a ring on the finger, right? The song by Beyonce.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so this is saying, yes, we're being pulled into this riptide, and all of these dark parts of us are coming up. But we have the good part of ourselves that is in proposing to us and saying, will you please marry me?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I did not see that interpretation coming. That's amazing. Whoa. Mind blown. Yeah. The left-hand man. That's totally not how I was seeing it. Wow.
So I was like, oh my gosh, that's so much fun. And then it says, it wants to be one with us. I love when you're singing that song. Okay. So I thought about this phrase and I was like, what happens? What happens when we're singing? Singing is a full body experience, right? You can't, when you're singing and you're singing well, you have to engage your whole body. Even if you're not singing well, you're still engaging your whole body, which is why I can hear things when people sing, because whatever's stuck in their body comes out our voices, right? If you're sad, what happens? You're talking on the phone, people can hear that you're sad because you're or you're about to cry because your voice changes. Or if you're angry, you can hear it in your voice, right? And so parts of our body are tight. It's going to come up through the singing. And our song, right? Whatever that song may be. And then the next lyric says, I got a lump in my throat because you're going to sing the words wrong. That lump in our throats is all that emotion we're going to work through as we sing and work out all of our beliefs. So as our focus.
A thought that just came into my mind. He's getting a lump in his throat because you're going to sing the words wrong. To me, that just feels so judgy. Right? And so like a little message about, if the lump in our throat is the stuff that we need to work through, maybe we need to kind of step back and stop judging other people when we think they're saying the words wrong.
Yes. And stop judging ourselves when we say the words wrong. And that too. So I love that you brought that up, because this is the thing that I thought. So that is one side. And it's so easy to judge ourselves, and it's so easy to judge somebody else. But when my kids sing a song and they get the words wrong, what happens to me is I have so much joy. Like, it's so cute that all this emotion just bubbles up and I can't help myself. And like if my husband sings or if I sing a song and I get the words wrong, then this laughter like bubbles up and it totally comes like the sound comes out, right? And I have had experiences before where somebody has sung something wrong or they said something wrong and the emotion comes up and it kind of gets like it just sits there right in my throat unless I let it move through and allow that to release, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's so beautiful. We are going to mess up. That is not a if, it's a when. And so allowing that to come up and allowing ourselves to be jovial about it in a way, instead of be so serious about how hard it is, just be like, okay, I just made a mistake and now let's fix it and move on.
Yeah.
So those are some of the thoughts.
No, I love it. I love it. Yeah, that allows for a lot of motion.
Yes, it allows for a lot of motion. The second we start judging,
instead of getting depressed, it allows for a new kind of motion that shakes stuff up. That's so true.
Yes, laughing or crying.
That kind of is the choice that we have with Scorpio, like going so deep, you know, are we going to cry or are we going to laugh, you know? Because they'll both shake things up, but, you know, I don't know. Cry laughing, totally a thing, recommended for dealing with Scorpio energy. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Okay, next section. So this is the next verse. There's this movie that I think you'll like. The lyrics say that there's this movie I think you'd like. This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself and she's been living on the highest shelf. So it's like a lot of different things, right? Happening. Wait a second. So we went from this guy who's quitting his job and heading to New York City. Then there's the cowboy who's running from himself, which there are like no cowboys in New York City, right? And then there's this girl who's living on the highest shelf. Okay, so this is the interpretation that I got. This is an invitation for us to quit living the life that we've been living, to stop working, like quote unquote, working for the beliefs and traumas that we have been working for, the ones that are not in alignment. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get divorced.
I love how you put that because we do work for them. Like, that's the thing. When people get caught up in their like terrible narratives of their lives, like they don't even see it, but it's like their job. It's like they wake up and they work hard to reinforce these beliefs that they're not good enough, that they can't make enough money, you know, that their family hates them. Like their brains and their bodies are working to reinforce those things. I love that. Quit the job, guys. Like say goodbye, go run off to New York City, right? Like, yeah. Oh my gosh. Exactly. Do something new and in a different way. Stop working for these false beliefs that are, you know, false beliefs don't pay you. You go to work every day and they drain your bank account. So like go to work for someone who will pay you. Like have good beliefs, you know.
Marry the man or you know, the woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marry yourself. Marry the good part of yourself. So it's an invitation to take those things off the shelf that we put up there. So, and she's been living on the highest shelf. Like when I think of the highest shelf, I think I'm 5'2" and 3/4 and like almost 5'3". So when I think of something on the highest shelf, I'm like, I can't reach that. I can't reach that. Like I'd have to get something to stand on in order to reach it because I'm so short. But it's an invitation for us to take those things off of that shelf, those parts of us that we haven't wanted to work on, that we haven't wanted to look at, and address them so that we can move forward. And then again, so it only howls twice in the song. And this is the part where it howls again. So, and they come unstuck. I love it. Can I just put a plug in here for singing? Sing it out, people. Who cares if it doesn't sound good? Like music is vibration, and the best way we can create, so sure, we can listen to music and that will help create the vibration. You know, we like hear the beat, we feel the beat of the drum in our body. You sit in your car and you turn your, if you have subs, which I love subs, subwoofers in the car, or just you turn your radio up all the way, you can feel the beat of the song, you can feel the vibration of the music in your body. But I'm going to put a plug in to sing it out, sing out that vibration. If it's stuck and you're mad, just be like, whatever sound comes, just like let the sound come out, move it out. It doesn't need to stay there. It's our call, and it's our time to talk about it. It's our time to create the vibration inside of our bodies and just move it.
Yes.
Any thoughts about my crazy singing?
No, I love it. Yeah, it gets things unstuck. That's what it's all about.
Yes, exactly.
That's the message for this eclipse. Whether we like it or not, like this next part, we're all going to be running down to the Riptide. When you said that the first time you mentioned this a few minutes ago, I just had this vision of literally all the people on the whole earth racing down to the water, which is a Scorpio energy, right? Mm-hmm. Scorpio is like the deepest depths of the ocean. And it is that Riptide where you can get in and you can get sucked in, you know, but it's like this eclipse energy, we're all racing down to the Riptide, taken away to the dark side. But why? Because things are getting unstuck and we have to face them and move through them so that we can go and marry the good guy. Like you said, time to marry the part of us that is good, you know?
Yes, exactly. And as I was listening to this section of the song, there's this great beat that starts drumming here, and it's like boom, boom, and it really stands out. And I love it because it's giving us the encouragement to move. Like when you hear good lyrics, you don't move. But when you hear a good beat, you can't help but move your body, right?
That's true.
And so this is like our indication, it's our clue, it's our alarm in the song for us to begin moving our body. Like I just can't help it. Our bodies can feel the drumming and the vibrations and things start to shift, right? So I would say in the next 2 weeks, especially, I mean, I would say listen to music all the time, but that is my go-to. But yeah. I would say here is encouraging us, listen to that music that will help create the movement in your life that you're needing. Do those things that help create the movement. That one of the things I love about music is that it is a reminder to our mind, our body, and our heart for the things that, so as maybe this is our theme song for the next couple of weeks, that we listen to it and we just listen to it a couple of times a week or whatever. And it's a reminder, what am I working for? What am I working towards? Where am I going? And letting that beat move us.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, this next part says, if you're gonna stay, I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. So I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. Like all of these things, right? So we're bringing to the forefront our minds. What is it that we want to know about these things that are coming up? Like, what do we want to know about that darkness? What do we need to know so that we can move through it? What are we going to do? Like, where we want to go? It says, if you're gonna stay, but here I'm not hearing where are we gonna stay. I'm hearing, where do you want to be? Obviously, we don't want to be in the place that we are. Even if we're in a good place, we still want to be at a better place.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, on our best days, we still want to have better days the next day, right? There's the drive in us. I just gotta know. And I actually don't hear I gotta know. I hear I gotta go.
Ooh, I just gotta go.
Yes. So we take these steps. I want to know. So we look at what information we need to have. And then we look at where we want to go, like where we're headed. And then we start going in that direction. So these are the steps that the song is giving us, the steps that we need in order to move forward. Well, we can't have it any other way. It really isn't any other way, regardless of what direction. We cannot stay the same. So we're either progressing or we're digressing. Either one is happening, but we get to decide. Do we want to progress? Like, do we want progression or do we want digression? Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't have it any other
well,
way.
and this is exactly the thing with this eclipse, because like, fortunately, people watching this video like are watching it because they're committing to progress through this eclipse portal. But for a lot of people who are not in a conscious state, they're just going to see that, you know, like I said in that other video, the thing about an eclipse portal is that it draws to you whatever is inevitable in your life. You know, what makes a thing inevitable? Whatever is going on in yourself, right? It's kind of like that law of attraction. It's not about your desires. It's about what matches the energy of you in this moment. And so going into this eclipse, you know, with as much emotional trauma resolved and like false beliefs removed and all this, that is what's going to make the inevitable be a lot better for us. You know, if we've been doing a lot of good things, then the inevitable consequence of that is more good stuff. But a lot of people are a big mess, and a lot of people are not trying to heal themselves, and the inevitability of that riptide for them will not be very fun, in my opinion.
I think that's a safe opinion. Like, if you're in that place, I want to say too, like, if you're in the place where you're working and it's hard, but you're working, keep working.
It's just a trajectory,
working.
right? It's just, are you taking a step every day? Are you trying? Like, trying counts. It really counts, you know? So
yes, it does. It counts a ton.
Yeah.
I love this next part. I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. And I was like, oh my gosh. So here, I love, after everything that you said, and after every, like, it gives us the steps, pick where you're going and then go there. And then it says, I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer you've ever seen. Okay, so Michelle Pfeiffer, totally known for being gorgeous and beautiful. Like, a lot of guys thought, you know, when she was younger, that she was so beautiful. I still think that she is beautiful. But I love this part because it gives us hope. And it's saying to ourselves, we are destined for the screen. And what does that say to me? That says to me, I'm a movie star. And maybe we don't want to be like an actual movie star, or we don't want to be like a huge hit publicly, but it's saying we're the star in our lives and we are beautiful and we can do this. Like Michelle Pfeiffer, she wasn't some B-list actress or C-list actress. Like, she was an A-list actress. And that's what this part of the song really says to me, is that you are A-list, baby. You are A-list.
I'm so glad to hear this. I was like, what are we going to do with this weird set of lines? Like, I don't even know what's going on here, but like, I love that. We're all destined for the screen, and we have all this like internal beauty that it's our destiny for it to be celebrated if we run to the rip side, go through the dark side, and come out on the other side and marry the good side. That's a lot of sides.
That's a lot of sides. Yes. Yes, I love that. I love that you just like walked right in. So it repeats the chorus 3 times before. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's the coolest thing ever, Allie. Okay, so it repeats the chorus 3 times and then the song is over, right? With the very last, and then it ends, the very last section ends. Okay, so here is what I've heard. When you repeat things 3 times, and I've noticed in your clearing videos, you'll do this, where you have them tap and then say the phrase 3 times, right? Why? Because it solidifies. And as I see it, it's like we say it one time and then we're at this level and it's like kind of starting out, and our body's like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll accept it. We say it a second time and then we're like, okay, I accept it even deeper. And then we say it a 3rd time and it's like, oh yeah, I totally believe that. You know, it really gives, it like sinks into our body. And I've done things before where I've repeated an affirmation, and then the very last thing I will say is, and so it is.
Ooh.
And right? Does that just feel good? It feels good to me to say it. And so it is.
Yeah, I love
It's like
it.
inevitable. And I love that because very last line, the last part is the last half of the chorus. It says, yeah, I got a lump in my throat because you're going to sing the words wrong. But I don't hear that. Like, here again, it is a totally different interpretation, a different translation. I got a lump in my throat because I'm going to sing the words right. I'm going to get this.
I
And
love
so it
that.
is. And we are married.
Yes. Ah, I love it. That's so good.
Come to my wedding reception. Let's celebrate. I just married the good part of myself.
Yeah. Ah, I love that. Sorry to go on a darker note here, but I do get a lot of messages from people who are very distressed by how the world is going, and like how the other people in their lives and kind of like society at large, like the trajectory that they're seeing. They're getting a lump in their throat because what they're seeing is a whole bunch of people singing the words wrong, you know?
Yep.
And so but I love that what you just said, because we get to focus on ourselves and get that lump in our throat because we're like, so I mean, have you like cried while you sang? Of course you have. And you get that
Of
lump
course.
in your throat and you're like singing anyway, like when you cry because you're so happy when you're singing, or you're
Yes.
so touched while you're singing. Like, we can have that kind of lump in our throat as we're singing it right,
Yes, exactly. I really love that you said that because it's so easy to get caught up in the world around us and everything that is going on that feels so outside of what we can touch. Do you know what I mean? I can't affect the president of the United States. He's outside my sphere of influence. Right?
I guess so.
We're not on a first name basis. He doesn't give me a
Oh,
call, during the day. He asks me how things are going. He's outside that. And like all of these things that are happening that are outside our control, the best thing that we can do is pull in and focus on the riptide that we can change. Focus on our world. Like, world can mean so many different things, right? Our personal world, so like the world in our mind, the world of our family, the world of our neighborhood, the world of our city, the world of our state. Like, what do you have, the word that's coming in, which I know it's a funny word to use for this, but like jurisdiction. What do you have jurisdiction over?
yeah.
And focus on that. Like, what is your stewardship? Focus on that. But jurisdiction just feels, I'm actually going to look that. Jurisdiction feels so good. Just focus on those things that in your world, that you can make a change in, and let all of the other things go.
Jurisdiction gives you the official power to make legal decisions and judgments. So I think that is a perfect word for this. Absolutely. We get to focus on what's in our stewardship, where we have the legal right. And I don't mean this in court, but like energetically, there is a legal system as well. What can we do on a spiritual realm that has legal rules too? And so focusing on ourselves, like that's the one place where we for sure have legal jurisdiction spiritually and physically. We have the legal right to make a decision for our own selves that maybe we can't for other people.
Yes, exactly.
One more thought. This Riptide business, as we've been talking about it just really quick, I want to mention a lot of moms have reached out about their kids who are already having a hard week, and maybe it's going to get harder in the next couple of weeks. And they're saying, what can I do for my kid? Because this Riptide is coming for everybody, even our little children. I don't know if you can hear my own children screaming their lungs out in the background, but it is happening over here. The thing is that everybody's getting affected by this. And so are we. And as a mom, it's hard to see your kids get swept to the riptide of these dark emotions that are here to be stirred up and get unstuck. And we want to help them, right? Like we all want to help our kids, even if it's just for ourselves, because like I want to help them so they just like stop screaming at me all day, right? Like we have these different reasons, or maybe maybe we just want them to feel better. That's so nice. I also want my kids to feel better, but I also want them to stop screaming, right? But it's kind of like the oxygen mask. If we're going to help people out of the riptide, we need to go through it first. We need to be in a stable space. You know, if we just jump into the riptide to start saving people, we're going to get hurt too. We have to come at it. It's like the oxygen mask first. You got to put your oxygen mask on first, and then you help others. You know, I feel like the most important thing we can do as moms right now is focus on our own self-care so that we can be in this really stable place when our kids lose their minds for the next 2 weeks and be like very whiny and horrible. We can first have that good perspective of like, it's okay, they're just going to the rip side and facing the dark side, and so am I. And I'm going to be the good example of like marrying my inner good part, and like I can hold space for them. And you know, when my kids are having a weird time, instead of me losing my mind over it, I can just say, it's okay, we're all going through the riptide. You know, having that new perspective can just be really healing and helpful.
Yes, I love that so, so much. Giving ourselves that patience and the a little bit of mercy and grace.
Yes,
A
I love
lot
that.
of mercy and grace, because it just really
Yes.
is. It is a part. And I want to say too, um, one of the biggest things that I noticed as I was listening to this song, and especially this end part, was that yeah, I wanted to move my body a little bit throughout the song, but when I got to this part, I just wanted to move and I just wanted to be right. I couldn't help it. I'm like, I gotta dance. I gotta, like, if I was in the car, I'm like, I gotta move my shoulders, like something's gotta move. So this really is an invitation for us to just move those things. And if that means you're having a hard time, your kids are having a hard time, and you're all like in the crappy crap of the day, turn something on, turn a song on, ask your kids, what song should we dance to right now? And shift the energy right then. Do it as a group, like you and your kids can do it. And it doesn't have to be like, okay, yeah, for sure, we want to take a look at those things. But in the moment when it sucks the hardest, put a song on and everybody dance to it for the song, and see the shift in the house totally move.
I love that. Thank you so much. And I did dance with this song with my little 3-year-old a bunch of times yesterday. And when I stopped it to go cook, she was like, "No, mom, we have to keep dancing. Like, play it again, you know." So we're like dancing and cooking. But thank you for that. Do you have any last thoughts on this?
Nope, that was my last thought.
Oh, okay. Well, cool.
And that's a
Thank you so
wrap.
much for being here, Cytel. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. And yeah, check out Cytel Schults at her Facebook group is Sing Your Soul with Cytel Schults on Facebook, obviously. It's a great place to be, and talking about music and how it can help heal your life all the time. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Allie.